Hey, it's Lisa Rothman, the founder of StopFamilyConflict.com. Today, I want to talk about how to handle it when your child does something that either you really don't like or they don't like for themselves, or, and I think this is the hardest one of all, other people don't like. I'm going to talk about how many people typically handle that situation and the problems that I believe arise, and then give you another strategy for how to approach it. And I want to share that this has happened many times in my own household with both of my children. They do something I don't like, they do something other people don't like, or they let themselves down in some way. And I use it with them, and this, of course, happens with many of the families that I support. Okay, so I'm going to use one of those families, and I've gotten their permission. I'm going to, mask all details so you don't know who they are. I got their permission to say what happened. So their child goes to a school that has a dress code, and the child intentionally breaks the dress code and got in trouble with the school administration. So that was the situation. So the child is doing something that other people do not like. I think this is truly, as a parent, this is one of the most challenging things we can encounter. I think it's even more difficult than when we don't like something. It's like, oh gosh, these are other people, because I think we're concerned that we're going to have a referendum on how we're parenting them. Okay, and so typically what happens whenever our child's doing something that someone doesn't like, including themselves, is here are the two things that I see most parents do. The first thing is and parents do it because they want to contribute to their children, and they also want peace of mind that it's not going to happen again. That's where I believe these two strategies come from. They're misguided, I think, but this is the innocent, wonderful place that they're coming from. So the first thing that I see most parents do is they lecture their child. They explain all the reasons why, in this case, the dress code is important and what's going to happen if they don't stick with the dress code, and on about the dress code. Okay, so that's the first thing they do. And what is the issue with this? Well, the child probably already knows all of this. I'd be surprised if they didn't. They've been going to the school for many years. Knowledge of what the dress code was and what the consequences would be, a gap in knowledge was not what was going on here, was not the problem about this. Okay, so it's the child then is on the receiving end of information that they already know, and it's not contributing to them understanding why they did what they did, which is what really, spoiler alert, is what you're going to want to try to help them understand. Because that way you're going to have trust and connection, and that's how you're actually going to get the peace of mind that you're craving about what's going to happen next. So that's the first thing, is the lecturing. Oh, let's stay away from lecturing. Second thing is the parent says, approaches it head on. Why did you do something like that? What were you thinking? Okay, so typically, the question is asked with, that tone of voice. And how is a child going to respond to something like that? I mean, quite defensively, right? And possibly they're going to lie, or they're going to say, I don't know, because they don't know. It's not, asking a question like that with that tone of voice is unlikely to yield connection and understanding. And even if you ask the question in a gentle, open way, you've done enough of your own work that you're feeling relatively relaxed. You've gotten empathy about your concern about what the school administration is going to think about you, what it means that your child's doing this. I could imagine all how have I failed as a parent that this is happening, whatever it is. Or maybe also just, oh gosh, why am I sending my child to a school that expects them to dress a certain way and is so strict? Is this actually in alignment with my values? That could be a pretty disturbing, unsettling conversation to have with yourself that you'd want to resolve and get clear about before you start connecting with your kid. So after you've done all that, and so let's say you ask with an open tone of voice, even then it can be really rough for the kid, because the kid does not necessarily have any idea what they're doing. and why they're doing it. All they know is they felt compelled to, but they don't know why, which is a pretty unpleasant place to be. And so now from the you comes this question, and they're put on, even if it's asked gently, and they're being put on the spot. And I can remember being on the receiving end of questions like this. I felt so alone. Like, I don't have any idea, and my parent like isn't going to be able to get this or guess, and I don't even know. And now I'm even, since typically I don't like going through the world with people not liking what I'm doing, and now I'm just being asked this question. I don't know. And then typically when the child says I don't know, the parent gets really frustrated and backs off, or it just disappears, and the child's left alone not knowing why they did what they did. They're none the wiser, and the parents none the wiser either. It's just like, oh, these conversations go nowhere. Okay, so what is the alternative to lecturing or asking a question like, why did you do that? What was going on for you? Okay, it is to, after you've gotten all that support and you've got an open mind and heart, before you check in with your child about it, take some guesses about why they might do something like that. And so that's what I did working privately with the parents. And what our guess was, and I'm pretty sure because it turned out to be an ongoing theme, the issue is that the child feels like they're being told what to do from the moment they wake up until they go to sleep at night. And they are past done. They are past done with that. And so the way they're getting, their need for autonomy and choice met is with wearing this outfit. In addition, they like how they look with the way they've altered the outfit. So it's also, meeting, their need for how they want to, to be out in the world looking how they want to be looking in the world in a way that is pleasing to them, which is not met by the dress code and the rules of the dress code. So it's both those things. So what I coached the mom to do was to say, hey, is the reason you did this because X? And so because now this is providing, at a minimum, even if the guess is wrong, it provides the child with something to push against, which can be very clarifying for the child. And so they might initially say, I don't know. And then you say, well, let's just take a minute. Let's think about it. How want you to think about it? Take a few breaths. Then you can take another guess. Is it this? Is it that? Warmer, colder? And at this point, in my experience, the child is usually feeling a lot more trust and curiosity about themselves. They have a sense that they're being held with care and curiosity by the parent. They have a companion now to co-hold what the heck was going on. And now they feel motivated. They have the capacity to now share their vulnerability with the parent. And so then from that place of openness and curiosity and, finding out, okay, what's happening here at home that's making things hard for you? Like, wow, you're going to get to know so much. Then the next piece, after you've taken the guesses and had a conversation and come to some place of, feel like you've resolved something, is to then, and this works, I will tell you, this gives so much more peace of mind than any lecture ever could. It's to say, okay, so given what you're now understanding about why you did what you did, what, if anything, would you do differently in the future? And when your child answers that, wow. When my children answer that, that is when I feel so much relaxation in my body, because I really trust them. I know exactly where they're at. I know what they're taking away from the situation. And if I think what they're saying, okay, what I wish I'd done was this, and I actually don't think they are capable of doing that, or there's a glitch that might arise that they're not seeing, we get to talk about that and problem solve that. And now we are companions and collaborators rather than adversaries. So the next time your child does something that you don't like, they don't like about themselves, or someone else doesn't like that they did, rather than lecture and rather than ask them, why did you do that? take a guess, and after you have get support, take a guess, and after you have a real conversation with them, ask them what, if anything, they would do differently next time, and take it from there. All right. And if you'd like to come to a Conflict Repair Cafe to get support doing this, the details about how to attend are in the video description. All right. Bye for now.